now. Pike's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah, and
It's all about the entertainment, so I hope everybody
is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome back to Tuesday night. It is the Dickby Sundance Memorial 200 presented by Calvin Ross, and of course this season is sponsored by the Killer Brownie Company. Head over to them at killerbrownie.com and have a look and see if you can get some killer brownies in your area. I am James Parfitt. I am here once more with Kenton Sportak here at the world's fastest half-mile circuit at Bristol. It's going to be absolutely amazing, but let's have a look at the current championship standings as they are at this moment in time. We have got Noel Jackowitz is not actually leading as well. That lovely championship has done what it seems to want to do every single time. So let's try that one again. There you go. It is Alex Witt out in front with Christian Strada in second. Noel Jakowitz is down in third. Dan Michael in fourth. Rodney Roberts fifth. Derek Runge sixth. Devon Collicott seventh. Hunter Carlson eighth. And Cody Kern in ninth. Then you've got Dominic Bettini in 10th. Then below that, we've got Brandon McLaughlin, Anthony Radel, Andrew Jamalin, Terry Spainhour, Andrew Onquist, Joshua Kuhn, Nick Vasquez, and Blake Lewis rounds out the top 18. Gregory Sherman, Xander Short, Jordan Malcolm, Seth Pegg, Rob Sizemore, Calvin Ross, Keenan Kimber, Chi Kuba, Cody Sharp, and Ryan McClelland is your top 28. Then behind that, we've got Daniel Jones, Zachary Lewis, Joshua Keefe, Yogi Shishela, Andrew Williams, Sawyer Gara, Thomas Kuhn, Tony Hedge, Nicholas Stockner, and Davey Nell. And then behind that, we've got Wayne Cannon, Keith Fallon, Armand Brusso, of course, and Josh McGuigan. Armand will be up in the booth, as he always is, as well, doing live stewarding. So welcome in if you are here this evening. Thank you so much for joining myself. But let's bring in the man with all the knowledge, of course, here, Kenton Sportak. Good evening to you, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Excited for some very interesting racing around the wonderful Bristol motorway.
Yeah, we have got 200 laps here this evening as well for you. We have got a stage break at lap 90. They do have 3 tyres and 30% fuel here to contend with, so we should hopefully see some green flag pit stops. Kenton, what's the story of Bristol then? Because obviously, you know, we talk about the track every single week. What are we going to be learning from Bristol this week?
So with Bristol, it's a very interesting track. Much like one of the ones that we did earlier this year, it is full concrete. So it's a smoother surface. It's not so bumpy, which is great. Get better traction throughout the entirety of it. And then the biggest thing is going to be these bank corners. They are variable corners, so they go from 24 to 28 degrees. The higher you get, the more steep they get. But even the front stretch is 5 to 9 degrees. The back stretch is 4 to 8 degrees. There's a lot of banking throughout this track, and it's a kind of a huge drop off onto that front straightaway or back straight. The biggest issue is going to be holding speed on these corners and coming off onto the fronts and back stretch and not instantly introducing yourself to a wall or getting loose or getting super tight going into them. It's a pretty tricky track. There'll be probably single file for the most part, unless you're trying to pass and then or doing that. But if you're going to try and be tire saving, you're going to want that higher line, as it is obviously a little less aggressive, a little less tight, and you're able to just kind of carry a little more speed through it. But if you're trying to make a move, you want to definitely be trying to get down to the apron, which in this case is a little less defined than normal, as it's just the difference in track color. So you can see where the black line sort of is there, where it transfers from concrete to the asphalt apron.
So there we go. It's going to be an interesting one. You're ready for the Wreckfest that's about to unwind, says Dropshot Prodigy. Well, let's hope we don't see that. I know Mr. Terry Spainhour is here tonight. How long he will last, we will see, as he hasn't been feeling 100% today. So got to give Terry a shout out. Get well soon, Terry. He has been feeling a little bit rough, but we are into qualifying currently at the moment for 5 minutes here, which seems bizarre considering the lap times are like 14.5 seconds. 5 minutes as well. For what have they got? 2 laps, I believe. Seems a little bit long, I'm not going to lie, because in about 28 seconds time they're going to be all done. So we could be waiting for a period of time here, but I think overall Bristol does look exciting. It does look a nice circuit. I'm going to presume it's going to breed at least some cautions, right? Because if we get through the whole race without any, I think we'll be, well, apart from the stage break, of course, I think we'll be spoiled, but I just can't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see us going green for all 200 laps minus the stage break, but it is an interesting track in that even though it is as tight as it is and it has these aggressive corners, during the race when you're trying to sort of stay in line a little bit, you will let off the throttle a touch, just kind of deal with that, a lot of green flag runs will actually happen. So I think we'll see at least one green flag pit stop today, but obviously it depends how the drivers are feeling, and if they decide to get a little squirrely and try and make a lot of passes, we could see a lot less green flag passing.
Yeah, what is the story on pit stops? Because we were talking in the green room before about it. You know, you were saying that they've got certain rules to be able to do their pit stops. So enlighten us on what they are.
So the pit stop thing is kind of interesting. With how small Bristol is, the infield, they weren't able to put a full pit lane like they would normally have at most of the other tracks. So what they've had to do is they have a dual pit lane set up, so your front straight and back straight both have pit lane or both have garages set up. Typically what's supposed to happen then is under caution you enter in on turn 2 and you must drive all the way down the backstretch through to turns 3 and 4 on the apron there, and then you come back in on the front stretch and stop in your garage, and then you exit out on turn 1. If you're in green flag pit stops, you actually don't have to do that. You can actually enter in on turn 4 and leave turn 1. Or if you're on the backside, you enter in turn 2 and exit on turn 3. So I'm not sure if iRacing really pushes that. And I know we do have less than 24, which I believe are 24 on each side. So it should all be on the one side. But I guess we'll have to see what happens under the first caution flag.
Right, okay, well, there you go. We have come to the end of qualifying for most of these drivers. They have done their 2 laps, apart from Rodney Roberts, Derek Runge, Dominic Bettini, Keenan Kimber, and Thomas Kuhn have not done their laps. That's why we've only got 19 on the timing tower on the left-hand side. Terry Spainhour, see you now, says, let's go, TJ, survive and save tyres. How important do we reckon tyres is going to be here? Because obviously they've only got 30% fuel, so they have 3 sets of tyres plus the ones that they start on. So what are we expecting for tyre deck?
Tyre deck it's very interesting, and it's all going to be coming down to how they choose to drive. If you're going to be sticking up on that higher line, your tires will last you a little longer, but it's going to be everything. Like we've seen how important it can be just to have a good set of tires near the end. So you don't want to burn through them too much where, you have to swap tires with consistency, and then you run out of tires and you've got, 40 lap old tires by the end of the race, and everyone else is on 20 lap old. So it's definitely going to be something to be smart about. I believe, if I remember correctly, we watched Jordan Malcolm pull off a pretty interesting masterclass of fuel saving here. With only 30% fuel, that's going to be also very important. If the longer you can stay out and eat into your own tires with fuel, opposed to having to fuel a lot, that's going to change obviously how you pit and what strategies you go with. And if you can last a little longer on fuel, then you can really make sure you're using your tires the right way.
Okay, well, that's going to be an interesting one as we start here with about 5 seconds left of qualifying before we go over into the 200 lap race. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be thrilling. So stay tuned. Get your drinks, get your popcorn, sit back, chill out, relax. Do what you've got to do beforehand, because here is the grid for this race. Dan Michael is in first with Andrew Williams in second, Christian Strada in third, Matthew Norberg fourth, Alex Witt fifth, Devon Collicott sixth, Noel Jackowitz seventh, Nicholas Stockner eighth, Brandon McLaughlin in ninth with Hunter Carlson, Cody Kern in 11th with Cody Sharp there. Then behind now we've got Jordan Malcolm, Calvin Ross, Derek Runge, Zach Lewis, Rodney Roberts, Andrew Onquist, Seth Pegg, Joshua Kuhn, TJ Spainhour, Dominic Bettini, Keenan Kimber, Thomas Kuhn, and then you've got, that's it for that there as well. Did I miss Alex Witt? He was here.
Yes. I don't think he... Oh, yeah, he's in
fifth. Yeah, he's in fifth. Yeah. Okay, cool. It's just losing my marbles there as well. Hello, James, and let's go T, says Billy. Welcome in. Hi, Billy. I hope you're well. Don't forget about Kenton as well. You know what I mean? You can't say just hello to me. Don't forget Lydia as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Go TJ with a heart she's put as well. So much love to TJ there. And I'm still excited, Mr. Spainhour Senior, to see what's going to turn up at my door here as well. I cannot wait for what it is you have sent me, Kenton. So there's a little Prezi on the way, apparently.
There you go. That's exciting. You can't go wrong with little prezzies.
I know. I like little Prezis. You know what I mean? But it's going to be seeing what it is. I think that's going to be the interesting thing here. Didn't know his name. Billy, he's been here every race for the last 2 seasons. I'm not going to lie. I'm not really sure what else to say to you. Apart from he's been here every race for the last 2 seasons. And just to top it all off as well, which is going to embed the enforcement on it, Billy, his name's down in the description in the YouTube video. So, yeah. I'm not quite sure on that one, how this is going to be, how you're going to get out of that one, but we are up and running on the pace lap here. You can see these wonderful machines going around this circuit. 24 cars round Bristol. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting, Kenton. I can't wait to get this underway and get going here for the Dickby Sundance Memorial 200, presented by Calvin Ross, sponsored by the Killer Brownie Company as well. So big shout out to them. Sorry, I listen at work, so can't hear all the time either. Oh, okay, Billy. What do you do, Billy? Are you doing anything exciting? What do you do for work? I do this. This is what I do for work. So, yeah, this is my excitement here. Which, you know, brings excitement. It was well funny today. I had somebody actually ask me what I do for a living. And you instantly know, as soon as you try and start explaining to somebody what you do and what we do, the blankness just appears on their face. Like, I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like, I said to him, we do esports commentary and broadcasting. Oh, right. And at that moment, I know I'd lost him. I'd given up already. Pace car is in here. We're going to have Dan Michael and Andrew Williams leading the field. Currently, here we go. We are up and underway here for the Dickby Sundance Memorial 200. Is green, green, green. Currently got 2 columns running at this moment in time as well. They're 3 wide further back. Just behind was Matthew Norberg, Alex Witt, Devon Collicott, and Noel Jackowitz. The field is starting to get spread out. We're already the length of the back stretch before we hit the front stretch, and the cars up front at the moment. But Kenton, at the moment, we are up and running all under green.
Yeah, a much cleaner start. I believe last week we had our first yellow after lap, not even lap 1, it was in lap 1. So cleaner start for sure. This is, you can already see Williams kind of staying higher, not going super low going into those corners. Dan Michael already scraping the wall as it is. But this track, it is very fast. So even though it's 200 laps, they go by real quick. Like we're already on lap 4 and we just started this conversation. So it's a very fast track, which is a lot of fun. And you'll start seeing guys start filtering down into single lane kind of driving. You're not going to see a whole lot of 2 wide things like that. For the most part, it will stay fairly single file. Just there's not a lot of space. And with how the track is, where some lines are a little more interesting to take and they're a little easier to take sometimes if you're trying to make a move, yes. Outside of that, you kind of want to filter in and sort of go in, as we see. I think that's Jordan Malcolm, and I think that's Sharp that's also going fairly low and kind of on their own, as we see a couple of guys going 2 wide as they're trying to make moves and trying to take up new spots.
Yeah, they definitely are. You can see him on the track at the back. Jordan Malcolm down in 15th. He's just cleared Hunter Carlson, running that inside line currently at the moment. But the cars are literally zooming around here at a rapid rate of knots. We have Andrew Williams out in front, Dan Michael, Christian Strada, Alex Witt, and Matthew Norberg, who I don't believe I've actually seen before. I think it's new into the series this week, of course. And he's doing an absolutely stellar job as well, sitting in 5th place. So some great driving going on at the moment already, and I do love the camera angles on the corners, right? Partly because you don't actually get a clear representation. And for me, that looks somewhat sped up, but that is actually the speed of the cars around here, guys. I'm not speeding it up in any shape or form. That is the speed of the cars that they are doing, and it is absolutely incredible. Have you driven any laps around here, Kenton, though?
Around Bristol, yeah, I've done a few. I did a good testing kind of session to see how it would feel and things in these next gen cars, just to kind of get a sort of an understanding for today, so I know how the car actually feels and things like that. I've seen a couple of videos, stuff like that, but it's like I said, it can be a very tricky track coming out of those corners, because if you get on the throttle a little too much, or if you have a little too much speed coming out, you can send the back end around very fast. Yes.
Strada he got too close to Dan Michael and had to take evasive action, dived up to the top part of the circuit and nearly caused a little bit of drama for himself there as well. I think that was just underestimating how close he actually was, I feel, at this point currently as well, Kenton, because he was very, very close to that rear end of Dan Michael.
Yeah, and it's interesting because these cars obviously will follow a lot closer than if for anyone who's watched, Formula One or anything like that. Those cars obviously they can follow fairly closely, but then dirty air really starts to affect them. And these guys, just the size of them, they create a little more of an aggressive wake that goes up a little more aggressively, so you can follow a little bit closer. But yeah, if you follow a little close, then you got to deal with the other incidents that can happen of one slight mess up by someone ahead of you, and suddenly you're inside and occupying the same space as another vehicle, and that never ends well.
No, it doesn't there as well. I do love that, Billy. By the way, hello, Kenton.
Hello, Billy.
A little bit late to the party, but we'll let her off, you know what I mean? She's one of the Spain House supporters. Now, the interesting thing about this as well, you can see already we're on lap 18, right, of 200. Now they're coming into this backmarker territory already. Now, what are we expecting from backmarkers? Because generally under blue flags, as anybody knows, and I'm an avid believer of please remove yourself out of the way, but they don't have to do that, do they? How are they going to work this one?
Yeah, and this track is going to be very interesting. It's because of how short it is, but at the same time how fast it is. They will definitely be hitting back markers. People will be getting lapped here, but it's all going to come down to just kind of how well they can maneuver through. And if you're a back marker, it's all about being predictable, not making any crazy sudden moves that don't make sense. Like, if you're on the high line and you see the car coming, don't dive down in front of it, kind of thing. So it's all about being predictable and keeping it together, and sort of if you can, if you're in the chat with them or things like that, or if you have a button map to it just to let people know what you're planning on doing, or if you're Andrew Williams and you're coming up, letting the guys that are back markers know, hey, this is where I'm thinking, this is what I want to do, like kind of going off of that. So it's definitely important that they kind of communicate, or at least make their moves early and succinct, so they're not kind of bouncing around and leaving guys guessing, because once that starts happening, that's when you're going to get massive problems.
Well, we are already coming into lap traffic there as well. TJ Spainhour, Thomas Kuhn is the first one. Seth Pegg is just about to be lapped as well at the hands of Andrew Williams. He's running through the middle of the circuit here, but it is going to get past Seth on the inside. Job done, and that's another one a lap down already. We're moving up through the field. We're up to 21st place being lapped, and we're 26 laps in. We are currently still under green, which is absolutely amazing and a massive improvement on last week. I've got to be honest, after we were at Charlotte as well when we topped 12 cautions. So to get through Bristol in the first 27, and we haven't got any, I am mightily impressed currently at the moment and loving this as well. But Dan Michael is chasing down Andrew Williams with Alex Witt in the mix just for all of this one as well. Further back, we've got Jordan Malcolm. He's trying to work his way through. He's down one place into 14th at the moment with 28 on the clock here. How did you find driving it though, Kenton, in this car? Did you sit back and think, whoa, this is scary? Did you sit back and think, oh, actually I've got this? Or what did you sit back and think when you were in it?
It's when you first get out there and you first start driving, it can be a little intimidating. These bank corners are pretty aggressive, and if first thing you want to do is see, okay, well, how fast can I really go into these corners and out of these corners? And so obviously you're introducing yourself to the wall pretty often and just trying to hold on to it and see, kind of that kind of stuff. But once you kind of get a hang of it, once you know, okay, this is my braking point, because you are braking, you're getting fairly fast coming out of these corners and getting into them, so you are going to tap the brake a little bit, lifting a little harder to do and be consistent. So having a nice little brake tap and get yourself turned around, because that'll help turn the front of the car and help get you into those corners a little bit smoother. But once you kind of get a few laps under your belt there, it actually feels real comfy. It's a very, because of how fast the track does feel, you just kind of put it on and sort of go into cruise control. It's a lot easier than you'd expect it to be. It's not like Dover, which just hurts and is always ridiculous because the whole thing is so aggressively banked. This is a little easier. It's almost if they took Dover and were like, hey, we're going to make this one just a little easier on everybody, and that's what they decided to make. So it's actually a pretty fun track to drive.
Oh, we have 3 wide past traffic there with Witt and Michael. They're battling side by side. Williams is managing to hang on to the lead. Witt does take that position away from Michael there. And we have lapped everybody up until Andrew Almquist currently at the moment, which is 18th place. And then we've got the 17th place man of Hunter Carlson running alongside of that one here. Cody Sharp is battling it out with Calvin Ross and Jordan Malcolm, and then we've got another pocket of battles with Noel Jackowitz, with Devon Collicott 2 seconds behind, who's got Derek Runge, Cody Kern and Brandon McLaughlin for company once more as well. It looks like Seth Pegg just might have had a moment. He's dropped a couple of places currently here, but he's sitting down in 20th. And then we've got Andrew Williams still out in front as well. Williams doing an absolutely stellar job through traffic, doing an absolutely stellar job here once more at this tricky circuit at Bristol. So where you see the lap cars already there on lap 39. We've still gone under green here. Currently, it's incredible that we've managed it like this long, but Rodney Roberts, the man, of course, who finished in 2nd place last week, is all the way down in 15th at the moment. He's got Dominic Bettini behind, who's just coming up the inside now. He's running that inside line, is Bettini. He's going to try and get him past if he can here. Nothing doing for Dominic at the moment. It seems to be that they've got to run high-low on certain parts of the corners. You can see them entering in sort of middle high part of the circuit before they start coming down again on the exit. It does look a tough circuit for something that shouldn't, I suppose, in a way.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, most tracks that you see, you guys are going to go high line going into the corner, drop down to the apron or fairly close to it, and then hop out back close to the wall and backstretch kind of thing. And this track's no different. The biggest thing will be the way it's banked actually allows you to carry more speed. So if you want to stay wall basically the whole way around, you definitely can. If you want to drop down to get that little more of a slingshot coming out of the corner, you definitely can. Obviously, it's going to sacrifice a little more tire wear going through there because you're putting a little more torque and drag on that front right, especially, that you're going to have to sort of take that into account and establish, okay, how is this going to factor into what I'm trying to do and how long I'm trying to make my car last before I have to pit. With these cars, they are a little heavier, so taking those higher lines is a lot easier. The issue is coming off that corner a little too early and getting the throttle down too soon, and you kind of kick that back end out, and the car starts to fishtail, and you really need to hope that you're by yourself by that point, because if you're right beside someone and you fishtail, you make a little contact, and then everybody's unhappy.
Yeah, they definitely are. We've got TJ has entered into the pit lane already. He's jumped straight back to the pits. As I say, he was feeling a little bit rough, so whether or not it's just taking his toll on TJ, of course. He's now, I believe, sitting on the right-hand side. Well, we've just missed him, but he's there. So, unfortunately for TJ, it's not looking too good at the moment. here either. So it's had a bit of a rough start as we're nearly entering 50 laps in. You can see on the right hand side how fast they are actually getting down that back straight. Again, not touching about 140 miles an hour. And the Bojangles of Alex Witt from the Breakfast Club with Dan Michael behind him as well. The man from Clements, Andrew Williams, is in the pits. Dan Michael from Los Angeles battling away here round turn 2. Off the exit of 2 they go on that backstretch up into 3. There's somebody coming up the top of the circuit as well. One of the things that what I do want to touch on, and we haven't touched on it already, is yellow flags. Now, normally with cautions, right, we know that they start spinning, they've got to be a certain part of the circuit, you know, and then they come in, and it all variations, isn't it? It's all varied from where they are going to end up going, right? What is the situation here with Bristol? Because obviously it's a kind of a different type of circuit. Are they going to be able to get away with the wall taps sliding down onto the apron, do you think? Or because they're off the racing line? Or are we going to be hitting yellows pretty much straight away, you think, as soon as anything happens?
Oh, yeah. For the most part, unless a car is completely solo, like there's no one around them, they hit the wall, slide down to the apron, and can get themselves going again, you're going to see a yellow flag fairly quickly. The track's just too narrow, too small. There's not quite enough space. So yeah, if you're banging up against walls and things like that, you're going to have a pretty sketchy time trying to maneuver your way through other vehicles. So they're definitely going to have a flag fairly quickly in this guy.
Right, okay, so we've gone 49 laps before pit stop. Some have managed to get it to 51, which there as well. Braden is, well, Wreckfest, question mark. Yeah, let's not speak too soon. So there you go. And Mr. Spainhouse Senior, it said 2 to 3 weeks, mailed it last Thursday. So got a couple of weeks to wait until my Prezi turns up in the post. Prezzies. Do love it. It's like Christmas, isn't it, for a kid? You know what I mean? Oh dear, but we'll give the pit stop cycle a little bit of a minute to calm down, as we've still got a few people in as well. I believe TJ is out. I've got a funny feeling he is struggling bad at the moment with whatever situation is currently going on with him as well. So get well soon to you, young sir. But he is out at the moment. We've lost the likes of, I believe, Thomas Kuhn didn't actually take to the start, and TJ as well. So unfortunately for TJ, he's going to have an early night, Lydia. Tuck him up, read him a story, and give him a good night kiss and let him get some sleep. It doesn't sound too healthy, I'm sure. But Matthew Norberg here is a healthy one, in 4th place at the moment, new into the series, I believe, tonight. I don't believe I've seen Matthew before, and he's not on the score sheets either. Difficult one to come into, I think, there. Don't you think, coming in at Bristol, you're in touching round 7 already? You know, how difficult, is that going to be the first one? See, that's what I was talking about. He's out.
I think we got pretty lucky as to him going straight all the way down to the wall on a straightaway opposed to on a corner. Had that been on a corner, then you kind of run the risk of I think he just got a little loose himself.
Yeah, this is Cody Kern, of course.
Touched the apron.
Sharp. Oh, contact with the lead car as well.
Yeah.
But that's what I was talking about. You know, is it because he's clear that we haven't seen the yellow? That's what I mean about it when we were talking about it, because obviously, as we know, there's many funky rules within iRacing regarding cautions, and there is always something somewhere that needs to go with it, doesn't it? And has he managed to get away with that one?
I think so. Is Jordan Malcolm sparking for you as well here?
Sparking?
So I'm just seeing it. I'm watching sparks come flying out of the back of Jordan Malcolm right now, right here. Now they've gone. Okay. I was like, oh no, did he pop a tire? Is he having some issues there? But no, it looks like he's all tickety-boo now, so that's good. But yeah, I think it was literally he just got lucky. Sorry, yeah, I just looked up and saw sparks come flying out the back of him. And I was like, did he blow a tire?
Is that even possible?
I think it was just my
iRacing?
screen. Yeah, I've done it. It sucks. I've popped a tire and it's not easy to do. It doesn't happen very often at all. But yeah, I've done that. I've blown an engine a few times in these cars.
Oh,
that one's fun.
Yeah, I've done that. I can't moan about that. I have definitely done that. Hunter Carlson here with Seth Pegg and Keenan Kimber around him, with Andrew Arnquist bringing the backup. You can see already there's a few people who are a good few laps down here. 2 laps all the way up into 11th. Malcolm and Stopner are 1 lap down. Now, is that credit to the pace of Strada, Michael Williams and Norberg and Witt, do we think? Or are the others not quite got to grips with the circuit?
I think it's a little bit of a combination of both. Like, to be fast here, you have to really have the circuit down. Like, you need to know everything you're doing at the time that you're supposed to be doing it, and if you miss that, it can be a whole bunch of other issues. But at the same time, if you don't quite have it, you're going to be braking a little bit more here. Oh. There's our first caution.
There we go.
There it is. Yep. Yeah, so I think it's going to be one of those things where it's not necessarily just the fact that Strada is flying and Michael and Williams and Norberg, but it's also the fact that some of the other cars, you're using your brakes a little longer. You're not getting on the throttle quite as early because you're just trying to force it up, as it looks like. Yeah, Joshua Kuhn just makes contact. Is that the 92?
He come up on him. Whoever it was, he's come up on him. Is that not Kimber?
I thought it was Hunter Carlson that we were looking at there. Oh, no, 32. He's a 32. I don't know.
Yeah, it is Hunter Carlson.
Yeah.
So it looked like Kuhn just come up on Carlson there. I don't think Carlson had really anywhere to drastically go. Do you know what I mean? I believe he was kind of just pinched against the wall there. You can see him now on the outside. You'll see the car come on the inside very, very shortly of Joshua Kuhn. There he is, and he's just kind of come up on him and pinched him against the wall. And there's just nowhere for... Carlson can't get any closer. I'm not going to lie. He just can't, can he? He's just not physically possible.
No, for sure. Although it does look like Alex Witt came in for another pit stop here. I think he had his second pit stop, so not sure what's going on or why he had to hop back in, but looks like he did.
Yeah, he definitely did. But there you go. To be fair to you, Mr. Drop Shot Progeny, lap 72 before we had caution number 1. That's not bad going at all.
No, I'll take that.
Yeah, if that was an official, we'd be on about 6 or 7 right now. Not going to lie.
Yeah.
Well, every NASCAR race I've done in an official, I'm normally up at the 6 or 7 cautions. I'm not, and I did one race actually I was in the IndyCar, IR01, I believe it is. And I can't remember where we was, to be honest. And we got past lap 1 and then we had a caution. Now, this was the extended version, so there was like 90 laps or something. And we got lap 1, and then 2.5 hours later, we'd managed to finish. It was horrendous. It was horrendous. I went from the back to 10th place, and I am not quick, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, the back to 10th, and there was like a 26 or 28 car field or something. It went on for ages.
Yeah, I did. I got into driving some of the Indy cars, and then I stopped because every single race, about 2 to 4 laps in, there'd be a huge crash and I'd get taken out. And unlike these cars, if you get in, if you hit it pretty much at all, your car's done and you're done for the day. So they're a little frustrating when other people are not really stellar at it. But yeah, I've had some interesting drives in these NASCARs, the next gen ones. I did the Daytona 500 earlier this year, and that was an adventure and a half. I actually started in P2, I think it was, and I had a great qualifying, and yeah, started P2, was in the lead for a long while, got a really weird black flag because I came out before the pace car, and it was odd. Ended up at the back, down 2 laps, and then battled my way back up through a few other cautions and got back to the front before getting taken out again.
All right, here we go. The starter flag is up. We are back underway here. Let's see if we can go another 75 laps on green before we end up having to hopefully not have another caution there as well. Where was your finishing position? You never said where you finished.
I think ended up finishing like in 37th or something like that. It was bad. I had the guy, he basically pit maneuvered me into the wall. I got hit by about 3 or 4 other cars as I was holding onto the brakes and just you can't do anything at that point. And then the guy, after bouncing off the wall, came and hit me again. So I had about 18 minutes worth of repairs, and I was like 12 laps down, and it was, not very fun.
It was not
ending, at least.
Yeah, I think I probably, at the moment I was 12 laps down, I probably would have said, I'm done. Thank you very much. Take care. Adios. Appreciate it's, you got a long way to go, but I still couldn't sit there for that as well. But my driving days, I have to confess now, my driving days are officially over. My rig has vacated my PC due to my lovely 12-year-old son, who turned around and said, Dad, you haven't used your PC, your rig for ages. Like the last race I did was back along in March somewhere. He said, can I have it? With a cheeky grin on his face. At that point, I did say yes. So my rig is now up in his bedroom. Probably currently being used for race room, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So, yeah, my son has got my rig. So any racing ideas I think about having, I'll have to do in his bedroom. So that could be quite interesting. But, yeah. Being that, obviously, I don't think they allow, I don't think he's allowed to log in as me and use my iRacing account. But I'm not even sure if that's a possible thing, to be honest. But back to the race, can they use it? Can they?
You could. They don't allow it, but you're able to. You are able to just log in as, but yeah, they tend to frown upon it because mainly they don't want someone in races that shouldn't be.
Mate,
based on rating and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't got a very high IR. Mine's like, I think I've literally hit back into 1350. So he's not exactly.
Like triple me.
Triple you?
Oh, yeah.
What, in road?
Oh, yeah. Road racing. I'm at, what is it? I think 787.
Jesus. How are you down there?
Because I made the mistake of joining in F4.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine on that one. We've just seen the outside maneuver here as well. That 81. Who is that 81? That is somebody, I believe, near.
That's McLaughlin.
Yeah, what, the 81? Yeah, Brandon McLaughlin. That is.
He's in 4th.
Yeah, he currently is now. He snuck it round the outside. He did an absolute stellar job on the likes of Collicott Williams there. They're still going.
Yeah, okay, we're still moving forward. Okay. We do have about 2 laps here before we have our stage break, so
yeah,
let's get there.
They're still going. Calvin Ross down here with Andrew Almquist. If you can pick out which one is Andrew Almquist, he's the number 17 on the inside there. This is a mixture of back markers and front runners, so this is going to be exciting because Alex Witt is the front runner. You can see him in the Bojangles 594 with Christian Strada on that low side as well. Now, I'd probably from a back... Sepek! Oh! Peggy normally nearly took it there. And Malcolm goes...
And...
we have got a caution.
Stage break.
Oh, stage break. Cool, blimey.
Yeah, I was like... I was going to say, oh, come on, a caution. And I was like, oh, wait, it's lap 90.
Stage break at lap 90 there. So that's only our second caution. I'm not going to lie, Drop Shot, you're Wreckfest. No, young sir. I'm quite happy about this. These guys have done amazing. And considering they've done amazing as well, Kenton, because there were so many cars on track there. There was a mixture of lapping, and your leaders. No, hold on. Your leaders, your lapped, your lapping, and your lapped. I know what I'm trying to say. There was people who were 2 laps, 1 lap, and no laps down. There you go. That might have been easier.
Yes, yeah. No, it does make it a lot tougher. Makes it a lot more interesting. As I'm pretty sure we're going to see a pretty significant number of people diving in, depending on what they've done so far, to snag some new tires. I think from what I can sort of see, it looked like most were a splash and dash kind of thing for the last round of pit stops. Everyone else, I think, is going to be coming in just trying to get new tires. I think that was the biggest issue with some of them, as they were sitting there with pretty beat up tires and they're just having some trouble.
Yeah, we did actually. That stage break come out at the same time Cody Kern had a moment. So the stage break actually come out at the same time as Kern having his moment here. Not entirely sure what he did here, but by the looks of it, he's just running along that outside wall, isn't he, Cody Kern? So there was...
It looks like he just made a little heavy contact on that right side. The right front bumper is pretty dinged in there, so I think it was just got up a little high and ended up meeting the wall going into the corner.
Yeah, definitely. So we were lucky. We got given that information by the man in the pit lane, of course, Mr. Armand Brusso, who we can have a chat with now and see how Armand is up in the booth. Armand, how are you getting on?
I'm doing all right.
You're doing all right?
All right.
What does that mean, all right? You don't seem very positive this week. What's going on?
No, I think things are doing all right. So far, this is an okay race. Like, there's a lot of mayhem, but we're not getting a lot of yellows, so I'm happy.
Where's the, there's a lot of mayhem with back markers and lap cars and everything else, right? We've already said about that. But considering we got to lap 75 for that caution first one, I don't think they've done bad at all. These guys have been on it.
Yeah, they're doing really good so far. There was one incident with a car parked on the front stretch, but other than that, everybody's being slightly respectful out there. We only really one caution, so I'm happy so far. Definitely happy.
Good. I like it when you're happy, to be honest.
My blood pressure likes it when I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly. You don't sound so upset when you come into the booth and have a chat with me either. I've got to be honest. You sound a lot more jolly, considering we're nearly at 100 already and we're only on the second caution, well, stage break Cody Kern incident. So at the end of the day, now, have we had any more conversations with drivers this week about Bristol? Because obviously, we've got a low field considering how many we normally have. We've got 24. Have we had a chat, or has there been something put out that said to the guys, look, we're at Bristol, be a little bit careful?
Yeah, the only thing I talked to them about is the dual pits. So people need to pay, people are getting black flags for not paying attention, exiting pits, and there's nothing so there's some issues with that going on right now, but I talked to people about paying attention to braking under yellow because we had a lot of stuff like that happen last week, but that's pretty much it.
Right, okay, well, we'll pop you back in that box and let you get back to it, and thank you so much for joining us as always.
Yep, thank you.
So there we go. Now, he said chaos. Are we missing something here?
I think it's more so that we've seen a few cars that have had to kind of bumped a wall and managed to keep going, and a little bit of door rubbing and stuff like that. I've seen a couple of them and stuff like that, but it's been nothing that's been disastrous, nothing that's really caused problems. Just some getting nice and close and a little door taps.
Yeah, they definitely have. I do like this as well. Mr. TJ Senior has said, wait till we get closer to the end, James and Kenton. The patience will run out.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, that definitely is a thing as well, because we've seen it happen here as well, and we're free. I'm sure we're still on free green, white checkers. It's going to be an interesting one. I want to make sure to see how they get on and whether or not we can get all the way through just with that one really forced caution. That second caution is a 50-50 between the forced and also the fact that obviously Cody Kern had a bit of a run, but we are back up and running, and Alex Witt has taken a jump here on lap 98 of the Dickby Sundance Memorial 200 presented by Calvin Ross, sponsored by the Killer Brownie Company, and currently Witt got an absolute barnstormer there. Williams is back up into third place after his mid-run, after his pit stop, put him down in fifth at one point, but he's back up into second as well. And Alex Witt doing what Alex Witt does best on that start second and just absolutely barnstormed away.
Yeah, and you're going to see how fast this track is when you are trying to catch somebody a little closer, because you can already see the time dropping. And they're getting Williams is starting to reel him in just a little bit here, but he gets a little squirrely coming out of turn 2 there, I think it was. Yeah, coming out of turn 3. So that was a little closer than I think he wanted to be. But it's Witt. If it comes to restarts and he's he's in front here, he's going to have a huge gap. He always does.
It definitely
it
does.
happens so quick.
I think the interesting thing is you can see where Alex Witt is on the track map in the top right-hand corner, right? He's literally coming over the start line now. If you look back through the cars that are between him, we don't actually have ninth place where ninth place generally is. This is Jordan Malcolm. There's a lot of cars, lap cars in front of him currently at the moment here as well, Kenton. Just how difficult are we talking here for Jordan Malcolm now? Because he has got all of these cars in front of him. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare for him.
It definitely does make it tougher because now you're not only trying to maneuver your way through lapped cars, but you also have to kind of keep track of where the guys ahead of you are. And I mean, if you look, I think P10 is up ahead near 6th.
Yeah.
So he's like not quite, about a turn ahead of him sort of thing. But then P11 is actually behind Jordan Malcolm, like a couple of laps behind, or a little bit behind him. So it's a very odd thing. You're trying to keep track of everybody, and you're kind of hoping your engineer knows what the heck is going on for you, or at least is able to help you out. And this is where I will say I think it's F4. You definitely want to make sure you've hit that, or maybe F3, so you have your they're getting a little touchily as Williams makes his move on the outside, kind of gets nice and close with Witt, but yeah, you're going to want your relative on, so you kind of know who's where for you, and you can kind of make a maneuver that way. But yeah, it definitely does get a little tougher trying to figure out who's where and when and how.
Yeah, Andrew Williams takes up the lead of this race now. He's got past Witt. He pulled Witt back in, got past him, and is out in front by about nearly 6 tenths already. Norberg closing down on Witt as well. Lap 110, 90 remaining. We are under only one real forced caution. At the same time as the stage break come out for caution number 2, there was a second incident, but we won't include that. We'll just say there was one for a minute, and they've done a great job. We have got lap cars already. We've lapped everyone up to Jordan Malcolm in 9th, with Stockner 2 laps back from that as well. If Pegg, Jakowitz, Kimber, Carlson and Kuhn. Now the interesting thing is this man, Noel Jakowitz, 2 laps down, normally running up the front end. I know when we first took over the series broadcasting it as well, we did have some interesting things happen with Jakowitz, but he seemed to have settled down a hell of a lot here. But I wouldn't have expected him to be 2 laps down in 12th place already.
Yeah, he looks like he's just kind of having a rough one with this track. And I mean, like we kind of said, the track's, it's a lot of fun, but once you get it, but if you don't have it like under control, it can be a little sketchy. It can definitely feel a lot more difficult than it needs to. So it's all kind of a feel with this track, and if you're not feeling it, you're gonna have a rough time.
No, and currently here's one man is going to be under pressure shortly is Witt with Norberg. Witt seems to be struggling a little bit here. He's lost a lot of time, 1.3 seconds to Williams. Pegg's back in again. Norberg's going to make his move underneath on the exit here on the back stretch, round 2 into 3. He's going to look at the inside. He's carried a lot more speed. They're going to be side by side. They're leaning on each other near enough as well. There's instantly respecting gaps left, which is absolutely incredible as they come back through 2 again on this run now into 3 once more. Round they go again, and Norberg has maybe not nearly. Kenton got that position away from Witt.
Looks like he does have it now for the most part. The interesting thing, like looking at the pit stop times, Alex Witt had a very short pit time. I think it was it's just under 8 seconds there, which tells me he didn't get new tires. So I don't know if he had gotten new tires earlier, because he did have that sort of like that later pit stop, and that little different one right there. You can see it the after 19 laps, I think.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah, and then he went to 20 for 21 laps. So whatever that I don't know if he took tires then and now he's kind of struggling on those tires, because it looks like he's just losing time. And obviously if you're not getting the grip going into these corners and you're getting a little bit, I believe the term is actually tight, if you're starting to slide up because your front tires are just not gripping at all and it's sending you straighter, so you have to brake more to kind of hold the car. I think he might have swapped tires a little early and now he's just doesn't have the grip that he used to and is struggling a little bit with that.
Yeah, it looks like he went in on 51, then again at 70, and then again at the stage break at 91. So, yeah, he's made 3 pit stops already as Witt, and it does look like now when we're getting to 123, he does look like he's struggling a little bit on that one. So, you know, for Alex Witt's situation, he's going to have to be a little bit careful because McLaughlin and Michael are closing him down quite rapidly here. So did he do what we said, or is there some other information in play with Alex that we're not aware of? Keenan Kimber in the 04. He's got Hunter Carlson, who's just taking that inside line there. We've got Jordan Malcolm in front as well. And this is what we're talking about. We've got Jordan Malcolm in 9th, Keenan Kimber in 13th, but yet they're on the same piece of circuit and there is not 4 cars between them. So it's going to be happening quite a lot here, I would have thought, once more with this traffic situation, isn't it? With the lap cars and the people in front and so on and so forth being so spread across the track.
Yeah, and you definitely have to pay attention because you don't want to take out a guy that's ahead of you. Like if you're driving around and, you know, say you're Rodney Roberts and you've come out of the pits, you don't want to make contact with a guy who's in 8th place just because he's driving beside you. And it does make it a little tougher. So you have to be a little more careful. And as Armin had said, you got to be a little respectful in a sense. So it's all just about kind of keeping the car pointed forward and trying to keep it out of the other vehicles.
Yeah, Alex Witt losing time again here. He's just about to got Dan Michael and Brandon McLaughlin right behind him currently. So they are losing time. And he is losing time as well. Let's have a look at his last lap. It was a 15.47 compared to Michael's 15.15. Through he goes underneath Witt. Witt goes down once more, 15.26, 15.53. So Witt and McLaughlin are near enough running the same lap times currently. I don't know if McLaughlin's struggling with that person in front. I believe that's Noel Jackowitz, if I'm not mistaken, in front of us at the moment. So Noel there in front of this car. So has he done a fateful error, do you think, of the fact that we're still running up under green?
It all kind of depends. If he pit a little earlier for fresh tires, then obviously he's going to have to pit again for fresh tires, where most other people are going to try and avoid having to pit for fresh during a green flag stop, unless they're trying to, you know, they might do one side and then kind of go off of that. So it's all going to come down to how it sort of plays for him. If he's able to get in, get a new set of tires, because he's probably going to have to pit again. If he did it at 50, he's probably going to want to be starting to think about it for least for tires, yeah.
The next 6 laps, yeah.
But if he's kind of just hoping it works out for him and kind of stretch those as long as he can and kind of go in when everybody else does, then he might not have as much of an issue. But I guess it's all going to come down to kind of how it works out for him, because right now he's just more or less tumbling down the order as McLaughlin makes his way through, and it looks like a few others are going to make their way through very quickly here.
26 pit lane time for his 25.6 for his first one there, and then 29.9, but then that third one was only 28.7, where you can see the others kicking 37.40s. So maybe he has struggling a little bit on that one, but we'll keep an eye on that as it goes on here, as we've got 138 under our belt. And now Derek Runge is chasing down Williams. So Williams up the front with Runge behind Norbert McLaughlin, Norbert Michael McLaughlin, Witt, Collicott, Strada. It's going to be tough for these guys. Do you think fatigue and tiredness is going to kick in as well? Because obviously you're doing the same thing consistently, aren't you?
Yeah, you are, and it's you could definitely start feeling a little fatigue in this, and more so mentally, because it's so much left turns. and so quickly that it never feels like you really get a break to kind of like stretch out your fingers. Like that's kind of the nice thing when you start seeing these longer ovals and things like that. You know, you can have that moment where you've got that tight holding the tire or holding the wheel and stuff, and then looks like we have a yellow flag out.
Oh, we do, yes. This is why we have this yellow flag. Enquires there. Not quite sure what he'd been up.
Got on the throttle.
Oh, Seth Pegg.
He got on the throttle just a bit too much, and that caused the car to kind of loosen up in the back and send him, unfortunately, down the track and right into Seth Pegg there.
And do you know what? If we can give anybody the title of the unluckiest driver, it is got to be Seth Pegg, isn't it?
He's definitely had himself a hard season.
Yeah, he gets caught up in things that ain't necessarily his fault, unfortunately. Like, that wasn't his fault. And poor old Peggy there just still gets caught up in it. He seems to be a magnet at the moment. And I do feel sorry for you, Seth, because you're having a pretty stellar race at the moment, up 3 in 16th. But he just ends up getting caught up in things. And I think he deserves, some form of medal for the unluckiest driver. I don't know, maybe a wooden steering wheel or something. You know what I mean? Maybe anybody out there good with wood? That would be cool, wouldn't it? A wooden steering wheel.
Could be their trophy for most unfortunate racer of the season.
Unfortunate driver.
He's had a rough one.
Yeah, he has. I feel sorry for Seth, but I'm not going to lie. The man from down under with Jordan Malcolm, of course, is a countryman. But yeah, poor old Seth Pegg is very unfortunate. I've got to be honest, because he wouldn't have seen that coming either. That's the thing from Pegg's point of view. He wouldn't have seen Almquist coming back behind him, because obviously, even with 3 monitors, you can't see behind you. Maybe in VR, but you've got to rotate like an owl, and that ain't going to happen. But I think you've got to be just. He would have sat in the car and just thought, what has gone on here? Why am I spinning? And then looked back and realised that Andrew Almquist went and tapped him. So, yeah, poor old Seth Pegg there.
Yeah, a little unfortunate, but hey, that's our second real caution. We're going to ignore the fact that the stage break, and that's 75, 144. They're pretty consistent.
Yeah. Yes.
It's about 70 laps.
Yeah, 70 laps. I'm happy with that. You know, considering we were talking and before we come on air, and we thought this could be a drastic issue, and we could end up basically seeing caution after caution after caution. I mean, you sat here till the sun comes up in the UK kind of thing, which it does in about 2.5 hours, and I can only say that from experience of yesterday. But they've done really well. I think they can all be proud of themselves, considering the new drivers, the rough beginnings, and the rough cautions and stuff like that. To be able to get past, it makes you wonder then, actually. I'm going to digress for a minute. It makes you wonder why at a tight little track like Bristol, we can go 3, and at Charlotte, we ended up on 12. And that's a wider circuit.
Less speed. You can't get quite as high as speeds going into and out of these corners, so you have to slow down a little bit more, and you have to be paying more attention to the car in front of you. Things like Charlotte, Daytona, as we are green here and back underway.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry. I missed that one.
I did too. I was like, oh, hey, we're green.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, it's the fact that, places like Daytona, the reason they have the big one is because you're pushing so hard the whole time. Your foot is basically pinned to the floor. You're not letting up at all. So any small mistake and it just, no one's letting up. Whereas here, because you're braking, it is a little easier to sort of keep it going straight, and you're kind of paying attention to what everyone's doing, because you have to stay on top of your own braking points and who's in front of you and who's around you, so you're not running into anybody a little bit more.
Yeah, Strada, Witt, Michael all got a little bit comfortable with Norberg in there. Jakowitz is running that outside line. Currently, he is sitting all the way down in 12th, mixing it up in this front lead pack that does consist of Williams, Run, Strada, Witt, Norberg. Michael have just swapped positions. They've gone through. Norberg's gone underneath him and taking it now. We're going into the final 50 here. Once more at Bristol with Andrew Williams. Well, I was going to say he's led a while, wasn't he? He led for most of the first part. He missed out after the first set of pit stops. That was taken up. Alex Witt took that one. And now he's leading again for this third, which hopefully Nope, it's not.
Looks like 10th, so I think that's Stockner there.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
There's no one...
That's Brandon McLaughlin underneath him.
Oh, yes. Oh, and Jordan Malcolm also getting a little unlucky as he had nowhere to go.
Lap 149 for Stockner. I think the problem with that is if we jumped on board with Brandon McLaughlin and had a look, you could see Stockner come almost down on him there. He goes underneath and then Stockner tries to keep it off the wall and then just squeezes him off. And then, lucky enough, Jordan Malcolm... nowhere to go. He's just got nowhere to go there, is he, unfortunately for him. So Stockner, Malcolm and McLaughlin all involved in the third one. Fourth caution, actually, as well. But at the end of the day, to hit 4 cautions on lap 150, I'll take that. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, well done to you guys for this one on 153. It's go time. Yes, we are going. We will keep an eye on this one. That's because we were talking about Seth Pegg and everything else on that one as well. Got a little bit sidetracked. But we'll keep an eye on the lead car now with Andrew Williams, Derek Run, Strada, Witt, Norberg, Davin Collicott here. I wonder if TJ's still... No, TJ's not still about, unfortunately. And maybe we can have we've still got time. Yeah, I think so. We'll have a quick chat with Mr. Calvin Ross here, currently at the moment, who is just coming out the pits. Calvin, welcome in. Can you hear me okay?
I can. How are you guys doing?
I'm not bad, mate. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah? Enjoying Bristol?
It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, so it's always a pleasant surprise.
It is. Sitting in 15th place at the moment. What's the ambition for the rest of the next 46 laps?
I just want to beat Seth. He's the only car that I care about, because we're the only cars on the same lap, so...
Okay.
That's my goal.
Yeah, we were discussing earlier on with Seth as well, being the unluckiest driver of the season, I think. Poor old Seth. He's had a bit of a moment here, hasn't he, as well? So, you know, going forward, stellar job from you. I'm shocked about the cautions. We're only on 4 at the moment.
I know. I hope you didn't just jinx us, but we've been doing pretty good. Everybody's been keeping it together. Just a few single car spins that didn't get cautions called, so... Armin's been doing great up in the race control booth, so I think we're in for a good show.
I'm hoping I haven't just cursed you all, but yeah, you're doing a stellar job at the moment, so take care and enjoy this one.
Next caution's your fault, James, just so you know.
All right, mate. Thanks, mate. I'll accept that one, but you take care, man. I'll chat to you later.
All right, see you.
Oh, that was a little bit harsh. But the pace car lights are out here, so we will keep an eye. So yeah, a little bit tough, been told that the next one's my fault, but look, come on boys, you can do this. Get to the end. 44 to go now. Let's do a stellar job. See how we get on as we're waiting for the remainder of the backmarkers, 10th and 11th, which is Noel and Nicholas, Stockner and Jakowitz, obviously respectively, to join on to the back of the pack. Then we're going to be, pace car's going to peel in. Williams is going to take us up once more here as we're going to be back underway on lap 156, and we are green. Williams trying to jump away with Runge, Strada, Witt and Norberg all set loose on him as well. The pack of dogs chasing down the cat, and the cat is Williams at the moment here, Kenton, and he's going to be chased down by Runge, Strada, Witt, Norberg and Collicott, with Dan Michael in the mix for good health.
Yeah, I mean, Williams has been getting a lot of really good jumps today. He's been very reliant on the fact that Bristol, unlike some of the longer tracks, you don't get as much of a draft because you're turning so much. So you really can open up that little bit of a gap, but these guys all kind of filing under single file, and they're going to start to reel him in just a little bit here.
Yeah, they definitely are there as well. I think with Armand in the background there as well, feeding me information. It's just said Brandon thinks he was going. Brandon thought the number 5 car of Stopner was going to let him through, but just misjudged the fact that Stopner was there. So yeah, a little bit tough for these guys, but all well and good. Half a second up front now, and now it's going to be from here. Jordan Malcolm up 4 places. At one point we were discussing him was a lap down, and now he's on that lead lap. He's now mixing it out with Devon Collicott. He's now mixing it out with Alexa Brown and McLaughlin, Dan Michael and Norberg. You can't ever count out Jordan Malcolm, can you? You can't ever say, oh, Jordan Malcolm's done, he's at the back. It doesn't matter, because 3 cautions later, and he's sitting up the front in the top 10. You just can't write him off.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a little bit of trouble now, though. When he goes by again and we actually get a good look at the front of his car there, you can see it's dented in. He didn't go into the pits after that crash and get it fixed, so he's kind of got a little bit of an aerodynamic disadvantage here, as it's just flattened out right at the front, as we do have another caution. Don't see where. It looks like the 13.
Yeah, Keenan Kimber.
Kimber.
What did you do?
He just got real loose coming out of that corner, and that's not going to end with a good time. And
where's every... Oh! No!
Oh, and Stockner's going to meet him too.
You can't blame me for that one. No, I'm not accepting responsibility for that one. I would have taken it if there was a big old one as well, but I'm not going to take the fact that Kimber just got a little bit loose and binned it on his own. So, no, not my fault. Calvin, sorry, sir. Not having that one here as well. 166, come on. We've got 34 laps. We go 75, and now we've gone 30, and we've hit 3 cautions.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit like, as Mr. Spainhauer had said, it's patience starting to wear out a little bit. People are trying to make moves, trying to get to the positions they need. I mean, there's still 34 laps left, so yeah, it's still a little early, but you definitely want to get yourself in some better positions and kind of go from there. But we'll kind of see how this all ends up playing out, as it does look like we've had some more people kind of hop into the pits here. Obviously, Kimber has gone in, but we'll see how there's a few more that have gone in. It looks like Jackowitz is in, Stockner, obviously he was involved in that, and Brandon McLaughlin's in. He's on his way out. And Elmquist as well as Cody Sharp. So a few guys coming in, getting some stuff, getting some new tires for the last 40 or almost 40 laps.
Would you get new tires now?
Yeah.
You would?
For the main reason of we've had 270 plus
runs,
green flag runs. Yes, we've had a couple now in a row, but I'd rather do it now and hope there's no safety car than have to hope for a safety car and have to rush in and get tires now. Because if you do it now under caution, and if there for some reason isn't a safety car, now anyone who has last pit, on a lap 140 or 141, as most of them have, you're looking nearing the end at 60 plus old or almost 60 lap old tires, whereas theirs are going to be 20, 30 sort of thing. So
yeah, they're definitely going to be looking at moving up in the right direction here as well. Pace car lights still going, so we're going to go one more before it goes out, and then we're going to be back underway, which will hopefully be for the last 30 laps here at Bristol. Not as bad as it has been, not as bad as it's been consistently at other circuits, but they've done an absolute stellar job here as well. Yep, Kenton, it's fixing to ramp up. This is Bristol, says Mr. Senior. And then Frack there says, ready to see a Strada dub. Dub?
Win.
Win? All right, okay, cool.
Yeah. Dub, short for W, win.
Okay, thank you.
Newfangled language.
Yeah, us old people didn't quite understand that one. You could have just put win. It's the same length as dub, really. W-I-N, D-U-B. same length. Back underway once more, and it's Williams who has made that jump out in front. Witt in second, Runge in third, and then Norberg and Strada behind him as well. I'm sorry, Frank, I'm only playing. I'm sure there was a reason on that one, but there we go, back underway. 171 now is Bristol. We're going to see what happened. 14.5-second lap times. Well, it's all for Williams now, isn't it? He's going to be the one under pressure.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that he's created this space behind him with Runge and Witt sort of having to duel each other to see who can get ahead to start making their move towards Williams is actually going to benefit Williams a lot, because now these guys going to be dueling behind him, so Runge has to play a little more defensive. I mean, going sideways isn't the best defensively, but yeah, that's a little unfortunate.
That was Runge. Now, where was he in conjunction with Witt? That's going to be the question. Oh, he come down.
He's kind of
him.
coming down. It's hard to say he necessarily came down on him, because that was his trajectory, was going down. And then Witt just kind of stayed in the same spot, and I don't think Runge realized how close he was behind him. But...
Oh, Seth Pegg! Oh!
Nope.
No.
Oh, he avoided it. Yep, we're good. Oh, he's still rolling. Ooh, he stopped it. Okay. I was like, oh, he's still rolling.
Yeah, I could just see Jackowitz there as well, coming in behind him, just like, boom. See you there. I'm so glad Seth got through that. I did really think that Seth was going to struggle, but yeah, he got through. Runge has gone into the pits, but that isn't really any surprise, considering obviously he's just been involved in an incident with Witt. So how are we looking at this then? What do we think on that situation? Do we think Runge necessarily come down, or was his natural trajectory just that way? Because here we go on board with a chopper.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of in that regard there, I think that's more just a racing incident. He was coming down, trying to stay low. Witt got a better run out of that corner and was going at the same time. And that looks kind of more racing incident than anything sort of else. Turning down on a driver.
Yeah, and we saw Strada was also in contact there as well. So, come on.
Yeah, you can see the indent there on that front diffuser.
Yeah, it looks like he's hit a pole. I do find that quite amusing, considering they probably haven't hit a pole. You know what I mean? And you would have thought the front would have been a little bit more flat in conjunction with that damage. Yeah, you can also think
the front of these cars sticks out a lot too.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but what
so it comes to like a point.
Yeah, well, it's more of like a half an egg, isn't it, give or take? You know what I mean? Round that side. So if you've pushed in that one part of the middle, you would expect the two front wings to almost slightly be pushed in as well.
Yeah, you'd think so, but cars bend weird. It's the best thing I've learned.
Yeah, you're definitely right, and they definitely do. But you know, if you're gonna make it, come on, sort it out. You know, because look, he's got that dent in the middle. And if he's been,
he matches Jordan Malcolm now.
Yeah, but you can see here, like, this is Norberg behind us. If he's hit that car would flatten up like a pancake, right? Almost. But
yeah,
Witt hasn't. Strada's not got that. But anyway, enough of me ranting about the fact that the damage isn't correct. We're going to be back underway for the last 24 laps here of this race. And what a race it has been here for the Dickby Sundance Memorial 200, presented by Calvin Ross, sponsored by Killer Brownie. Check them out, killerbrownie.com. Get yourself some Killer Brownies here as well. And Andrew Williams is up and running. We are green once more. Strada, Michael, Witt, Norberg set chase once again. Williams, the Gazelle, the pack behind are the Lions, and they are chasing him down now. And Alex Witt is definitely that lead Lion, having a go at Williams here, trying to get hold of him on the exit of 2 there, Kenton. But yep, another flying start for Williams.
Yeah, he just took off and unfortunately for everybody else, he kind of gets himself into a point where he doesn't have to worry so much about the drivers behind him as they have to more worry about themselves. So you can see Strada trying to make a move on Witt on his inside, and Witt trying to have to play a little bit of defense, trying to make sure he doesn't get past, but he can continue his speed, try and go after as we get another caution. It looks like Jordan Malcolm on that one. Maybe not. It might have been Runge.
It's kicking off a little bit here, and it could be the fact that Runge has been caught up again. Runge, of course, in that 84. That's Jordan Malcolm on the outside.
That was both. Oh, no. Runge just tapped him, tried to correct it, so he didn't take him out, and ooh.
He got Brandon McLaughlin.
It looks like Brandon McLaughlin almost got net coated more so than anything, because I didn't see any contact as Jackowitz is able to slide through up along the wall there.
Yeah, Runge, unfortunately for you, sir, not an ideal scenario as you're in with Malcolm. I think that was Hunter Carlson, the other car who ended up getting caught up in it as well. You can see it there. Look, you can see him going left. You know he's going to come right. Go on the inside, go on the inside, go on the inside. And no, we didn't quite go inside enough there for Carlson. So unfortunately for him, he got caught up in that one as well. Caution number 7, I believe we're on currently at the moment with 18 to go. Well, if you could predict a winner now, Kenton, who would you be predicting?
With the way he's been getting these jumps, I kind of have to go with Williams. He's making it difficult for anybody to kind of fight with him here, and just kind of getting that great lead and sort of making them all duel it out to see who gets a chance to kind of come after him. But he's getting all these jumps, and then the constant yellow flags allowing him to just sort of worry about getting off. And with how quick it is to per lap, if this keeps the way it is and we end up going green, white, checkered, he's going to have a very good shot for sure.
Yeah, I don't like to rule out Witt, Strider, or Michael. Do you know what I mean? I think they still would be in the hunt, and I still wouldn't write them off. I've got to be honest. I think it could be Witt could get this. So while you're with Williams, I'm going to go with Witt. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be Witt. I predict 3 more cautions, says Mr. Spainhour Senior. 3 more, do you reckon?
So Jordan Malcolm's made his way up to 6th now.
He
is in P6.
And that's what I mean. You can't count him out. You cannot count him out.
He is really good at the whole last second kind of come from behind win.
He's so resilient. There's like a no retreat, no surrender kind of thing in him. You know, even with damage, you can see on the front diffuser there as well. He's still got this no retreat, no surrender. I'm going to go for it here and see where I end up. And now he's sitting in 6th place. It wouldn't be surprised me if he come through for the win, you know. That's another thing I would be surprised about. But hopefully, 16 to go. Pace car's in, crosses the nose of Williams, doesn't take him out there. Williams backs everybody in, and now he goes. Witt now goes. Strada goes. Michael goes as well. And we're back underway for the last 15 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Witt and Michael. Wow.
Do they both keep it going, though?
Yep.
Okay.
Wow. Michael nearly didn't keep it going. I'm not going to lie. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that one worked out, but it did. So good on them, I guess. Managed to masterfully recover on that one.
Yeah, it did. But can you see past Williams now? That's the problem, because now...
And that's going to be... Yeah, there we go. I was like, that has to be a caution at that point, as Alex Witt has nothing left on that right-hand side. And one right-hand tire that does not turn.
Yes. I do feel sorry for everyone at the moment, because we were doing so well. And Witt and Norberg had just come together. And if you're right, Mr. Spainhour Senior, I'm not happy. So, this is what I'm going to try and capture as well. I've got to try and do that. There was the rubbing on the side, right? Now, the question is did he rub... Who rubbed a who here?
I think it looks like Witt just kind of drifted a little down, I don't think, and then...
Oh, Malcolm. Clattered him.
Yeah, he...
And then hit him again. And again.
And again.
And then pushes him back up into the circuit. Here comes the 15. Boom, Cody Sharp. Unfortunately, terminates Alex Witt as well. And then that's it. He's got nothing left of that car whatsoever. His right front, well, that's the state of it.
Yeah. But thankfully, they have that fast repair, although I don't know if he has one left or not, because it doesn't look like it based on him still being in there. I feel bad for Jordan Malcolm. He had nothing to do with anything there, and that's going to drop him a little bit. I think he's now... Actually, I don't even... Where did he go? Ninth again? Oh, yeah, there he is, yeah.
10 to go here at Bristol. Hold on to your hats. It's going to be fireworks. I can see it now. Well, this is going to be an interesting one, Kenton. How many green-white checkers do you think we're going to end up with? We've only got 3 in the bank.
I'm hoping 0, but we'll go with 1, just to be safe.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think you might be right. I've got to be honest. I don't think it's going to be 0. I think we're on for a 1. Definitely on for a 1 here. But let's see what happens. They start filing out into their 2 wide. Brat's still got Strada on for the win. I'm not saying that's not possible either, Kenton, are we really? From where Strada is at the moment.
No, he definitely still has a shot. I don't think your option is gonna get the win there.
No, my option's in the pits and going down the order quite quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Andrew Williams is gonna win this one, but I guess we'll have to see.
Well, Yogi said Strat push it. I drink beer and know things, says Terry Spadehouse Senior, and Drop Shot's come in and said 2 GWCs. Well, depending on what the gap can be here, whether or not he's able to really get out in front on this last one. I don't like that little checkup. Alex Witt and Strada having a little bit of a nose to tail bumping. Oh, he's brought him right in here. Off he goes once more for Williams. Strada tucking into second. Norberg's jumped Michael already. Rounding out in the inside. Michael there trying to come through on Strada. Gives Strada a little up tap. Took a lot more speed out the exit of 2. And Strada was just there, unfortunately. Behind Michael is Devon Collicott. Strada's now trying to go with Norberg. Norberg's gone past him as well here, Kenton. Could this be a Norberg victory with 6 to go?
I mean, he has had a very, very, very clean race today. He is kind of kept out of trouble, hasn't really gotten too much issues. It's all going to come down to, it looks like both himself and Williams are on the same lap old tires. Williams has had the faster of the overall best laps so far, and he is a little quicker right now on last lap. And then, as I say, that Nordberg does go a little faster that last lap compared to Williams. Not much, but a little faster. So I think it's going to be tight. It's going to be a very, very close finish here, and we got 3 to go. So let's hope maybe we're right.
3 to go. Who's going to be the 1, 2, 3? At the moment, it looks like it's Williams' race. Here, coming around now on to the final lap. Don't forget, no yellow flags on the final lap. So we are going to be there now. That's it. Once more, it looks like it's going to be Williams is going to take that win. I think Andrew Williams is going to take this victory with Norberg behind him. Coming round now, it's Williams. He wraps it up. He does do it with Norberg and Strada in 3rd there. So Christian Strada in 3rd place. Michael there. Everybody was wrong, just like to point out, because there was 0 green-white checkers.
It's true.
It is true. It's not like I'm making it up. It's true.
Yeah.
I know. Come on, you.
To be fair, my winner did win, so I'll take that.
Yeah, all right. Blimey.
I had to make up for last year's who's going to make the finals and getting like 2 of 4.
Yes, definitely on that one. But Andrew Williams is your winner here as well. An absolutely stellar job from Andrew, doing donuts on that front stretch. Norberg in second, Christian Strada third, Dan Michael fourth, Derek Runge fifth, Devon Collicott sixth, Brandon McLaughlin seventh with Noel Jackowitz in eighth, Jordan Malcolm down in ninth at the end, Hunter Carlson in 10th, and then we've got Calvin Ross did finish ahead of Seth Pegg with Cody Sharp in 13th, Alex Witt all the way down in 14th, Andrew Onquist 15th, Keenan Kimber, Nicholas Stockner and Dominic Bettini there rounding out the final 18. Then beyond that, Rodney Roberts, Zach Lewis, Joshua Kuhn, Cody Kern, TJ and Thomas Kuhn. Thomas never actually took to the start, if I'm not mistaken. So there we go. We can have a chat with your winner here from this race, Mr. Andrew Williams. Let's have a chat with Andrew now. Andrew, good evening to you, sir. How is it? You are the winner at Bristol.
Man, it was awesome. Fantastic drive the whole way through. Got a little bit worried with the cautions at the end, having so many restarts. I was worried somebody was going to jump me in the restarts, but no, it was smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing? Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. I like your confidence there as well. For the other 8 cautions, probably not so much. But to be fair, it was better than what we gave it credit for. Just how tough was it out there with the likes of Norberg, Strider, Michael and Runge all chasing you down? Because there was a minute in after your first pit stop where you wasn't in the lead. You know, you led for pretty much most of the first part, went in for the pit stops and didn't come out in front there. Was there a moment of worry in that one at all?
Yeah, we did not have good tire wear all night long. I had a hard time keeping the right front under me. So the long run in the first stint where we stayed on the same set of tires for 90 laps, that was a big problem for me. But we were able to pull through. Once we got back on new tires in the second stage, it was lights out.
Well, great job there as well. On to Pocono next week. Andrew, how do you feel about Pocono?
Pocono should be tricky, a whole lot different than Bristol, but I usually find I'm pretty good at the big tracks. So yeah, we're gonna give it everything.
Awesome stuff there as well. Well, thanks so much for joining me. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Of course, I want to shout out my buddies Orange Rule Racing and Nick Stockner and Nordberg for coming and racing this league with me. And I want to thank the league for putting on a great show.
Awesome stuff. Well, Andrew, thanks so much for chatting to us, and we'll hopefully have a chat with you as the season goes on.
Of course, I hope so.
Take care. All right, let's have a chat with your second place man here as well, Matthew Norberg. I would say you had a fairly incident-free race there, Matthew, but welcome in. How are you?
Good. That was a fun race. Lots of green flag action and green flag pit stops. Don't get to do that very often at Bristol, so super enjoyable.
Yeah, was that a surprise that you were under green flags for pit
I
stops?
wouldn't say it was a surprise. Like, I think once we got past the first 10, 15 laps, I was like, all right, I think we're in a position where we can maybe have some green flag stops, and I practiced a couple green flag stops, but yeah, it's super tricky, especially with the dual pit road. You have to, really remember what side of pit road you're on. Luckily, I was on the front side, so I took the pit off of 3 and 4, like most ovals, of course. Pit roads off 3 and 4, but yeah, I got on. I guess we had one green flag stop tonight, but yeah, I got on pit road pretty well. Didn't speed, good stop. Just gas for the first stop for me, and kind of took it from there.
Awesome stuff. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is your first race of the season, isn't it?
Yes.
How did you find it?
Oh, it was super enjoyable. I think the racing was pretty clean throughout at the front of the pack. Super glad I could be here tonight. I was hoping to make my debut last week, but I had to travel a bit for work. So hope to be able to continue to show up when I'm in town, and it was a lot of fun racing tonight.
Awesome stuff. Pocono next week? General consensus?
Yeah. I think I know a lot of people who hate Pocono. I know they think it's kind of a bore fest, but I enjoy Pocono. I've been fast at Pocono before, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'll make sure to get some practice laps in.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Matthew. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my priest, Nicholas Stockner. I know he was in the race tonight, had a bit of an unfortunate one with getting into some accidents that weren't his fault, but he's gotten me through a lot of tough times in life, so shout out Nick Stockner. I'll always be here for you, buddy.
Awesome stuff. Well, Matthew, thanks so much for joining us, mate, and we'll hopefully look forward to having a chat with you when you do make it on the racetrack.
Awesome. Thank you.
Take care. Right. And then we're going to have a chat with your third place man, Christian Strado, who clearly was mid-conversation with somebody at that point. Christian, welcome into the booth. How are you, bud?
Pretty good. How about yourself, James?
I'm not bad, mate. I'm not bad. Considering we're at Bristol, considering, 25 cars on track, and the majority of the cautions come after lap 100. I'm happy.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was a really good race. I definitely was concerned that there was going to be a lot of cautions at the beginning. I was pleasantly surprised that we went green and got to actually really get the race in here.
Yeah, you definitely did an absolutely stellar job as well. Fracted Darmis, who clearly must know you, has been ranting and saying that you were going to take the win tonight. How close do you think you were to taking the victory?
Honestly, I think I was just that last restart away. I think if I wouldn't have made a mistake, I went a little bit early, and then tried to make it up in 1 and 2, got a little loose, just scraped the wall. I think I would have at least had a shot. Andrew was very fast though, so I got to give it to him. I don't know if I had the car to actually pass and beat him there.
Well, you still did an absolute stellar job, mate. Next race, 2 weeks' time at Pocono. How do you feel?
I am ecstatic. That is one of my favorite tracks. I cannot wait to get there. I really think that that's a race that I can go out and at least top 3 again, but I'm really hoping to get a win there.
Awesome stuff. Well, Christian, thanks so much for joining us here, bud. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
I want to give a shout out to TJ.
He was rough, wasn't he?
Strong teammate. He was sick. Came out here, still tried to get it done. And Bristol can be a really frustrating track, and it's how sometimes the cards roll.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate, on that one. Well, as I said, big shout out to TJ there as well. But Christian, thanks so much for joining us there, bud, and look forward to hopefully seeing you in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, I hope to see you too in a couple of weeks here, James, and I hope you guys have a good night.
And you, man. Take care.
You too.
Right, now we're going to have a chat with the big boss man once more up here in the booth with us, Mr. Armand Brusso. Good evening, Armand. How are you?
I'm good. Did you guys enjoy the end of that race?
I definitely did. I was. You know what, right? I know where we're at, and we're at Bristol, and the fear of caution after caution after caution after caution. But considering we had 4 after lap 150, I don't think that's been too bad at all. And you know me, and how frustrated I can get at cautions at times. But I don't think that's too bad at all, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with everybody tonight. We had a couple cautions that were like single cars, but then it collected some people. So that's stuff I can live with, and for the most part, it was clean racing out there. So I'm happy. I'm really happy with everybody.
Yeah, it was definitely a good one. On to Pocono though in 2 weeks' time for us up here in the booth. Different circuit, completely different circuit to Bristol and everything else that we've been. What do we think that Pocono's going to run like?
Pocono's a tricky track. It's usually a clean race, so I'm hoping that we won't have many cautions. But it's going to be it's basically like a super speedway. There's going to be a lot of single car file, just driving in a snake for a while. Then occasionally you'll pass. But so we'll see. It could be a boring race, but it can also be a fun race for the guys out there.
Okay, well, let's hope it is a fun race as well. And thank you so much for joining us, Bud. And
I just want to say, next week we have the All-Star race. You guys are more than welcome to broadcast it if you would like. We're doing Bristol Dirt. It's going to be a couple heat races and a main event. There's going to be some prize money on the line for the guys that race out there. It's a for fun thing. It's not for points for the final standings, but it is going to be an all-star race for us. I was going to invite you guys to race if you wanted to, but I heard that you gave your son your racing race, so that might be a little hard. So
yeah.
if you would like to broadcast it next week, you are more than welcome to do so. If you'd rather have the day off, then you won't get any complaints from me, but that's what we're doing this week.
Oh, Kenton, you up for that next week?
I mean, definitely could. Maybe I'll slap my car on and go for a few laps, and I can cast from the track for you.
Ooh.
Yep, you are more than welcome to get on track if you would like to.
Oh, okay. I might go and...
We'll chat. We'll chat. We'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out. I might have to go and take my son's rig back or something. I don't know. Or sit up in his bedroom and drive from there.
Yeah, it would be like 2 a.m. though, so where's your son going to have to sleep that night?
Mate, well, he's got 6 weeks holiday, let's be real. He's a bit of a night owl, so we don't generally go to bed anyway.
So just you go into the ring and have him jump into the booth and run the stream and just trade places, that's all.
Oh, that would be amazing. But I dread to think what the commentary would be like, I've got to be honest. But yeah, okay, bud. Well, we will have a chat here as well once we end up finishing off as well. But thanks so much, Armin, for joining us as always. It's been a pleasure.
You guys, whatever you want to do, I'm happy with. So thanks for doing a wonderful job tonight, and we should have a fun race next week.
Awesome stuff. Well, take care, buddy, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Well, there you go, guys. There is the All-Star race at Bristol Dirt next week as well with heats here. And me and Kenton will have a little bit of a chat and see whether or not we're going to go and try and drive, or we'll broadcast it and put some commentary over the top. So who knows? But there you go, guys. Kenton, to be fair, for Bristol, that wasn't bad. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it could have been, like we had said, a whole lot worse, but it worked out pretty well. It was a lot of fun, and it was definitely a cleaner race than I kind of expected, so it was good.
Yeah, definitely on that one. Well, guys, that is bringing us to the end of this broadcast. Thank you to everybody that's joined us. Of course, the Spain Hour massive. Peggles there as well. Good race. Disappointed still, sadly. Was hoping for P10. Peggles, you are literally the most unluckiest man in this series. I've got to be honest. You deserve a wooden steering wheel or something. And not a spoon, because that's detrimental. A wooden steering wheel. That would be cool if anybody wants to do a wooden steering wheel. But much love to everybody out there who has joined us. Frat, thank you so much for coming in. Yogi as well. But for now, guys, from myself and Kenton Sportak up here in the JPB broadcasting booth, you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.